All right, we're going to begin. It's 11 o'clock. I'd like to open the public hearing of the Senate Game and Fisheries Committee. We have three testifiers. Actually, I'll be adjourning the public hearing and then opening up an informational meeting on the deer management specifically. So at this point, we're going to hear from Carl Rowe, who's the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Game Commission, to fill us in on what's been happening with the Game Commission over the past year. Carl, it's all you.
Thank you, Senator. Chairman McElhaney, members of the committee, it's a pleasure to appear before you to give our annual report. Before I get started, I would like to say we have several members of the Game Commission staff, but in particular we have four of our commissioners here today. Commissioners Roxanne Pallone, Commissioner Greg Isabella, Commissioner Tom Boop, and Commissioner Dave Schreffler. So we have four of our board members here. It's been a very productive and challenging year for the Pennsylvania Game Commission as we strive to fulfill our mission of managing all wild birds and mammals and their habitats for current and future generations. As required by state law, we delivered our annual report, an update of our Growing Greener 2 program on January 31st. We will offer some comments on the report and add additional information on various issues. As we continue to improve in areas, you will notice in the report that for the second year we organized a program accountability section in line with the strategic plan. This year we have combined some measurement data with the analysis of where we are in achieving the objectives in the plan. We move forward in some areas but are hampered by the lack of resources to achieve some very important objectives. Habitat is a key life requisite for all wildlife, and we continue to be concerned about encroachment on wildlife habitat. As you are well aware, we are responsible for approximately 465 species, 429 birds and 66 mammals, of which 22 are threatened and endangered. Slowing the loss of wildlife habitat is critical to ensuring a future for many of our native species. In the past 30 years, American woodcock populations have declined by 40% in the northeast region of the United States. Bobwhite quail have declined by 95%, eastern meadowlark by 80%, and the upland sandpiper declined 90%. Species at most risk are typically associated with wetlands, riparian areas, old field shrub and grasslands, contiguous blocks of old-growth forest, and special habitats such as caves and vernal pools. Developing and maintaining these areas is extremely important for a variety of game and non-game species. We work hard to develop those areas through several programs. The first is a Conservation Reserve Enhancement Program, better known as CREP, where we are putting 265,000 acres of habitat back on the ground. We are almost finished with the Upper Susquehanna Basin CREP and will soon have over 200,000 acres of farmland planned and planted that covers both the lower and upper Susquehanna River Basin. The other 65,000 acres are in the Ohio River Basin, where we have approximately 19,000 acres planned and planted, and we anticipate completing the CREP program over the next 2 or 3 years. Additionally, through the use of a federal state wildlife grant program, we've hired a wildlife biologist for each of the regions to better focus on assisting private landowners in restoring and enhancing more wildlife habitat on their properties. We believe that with additional funding, this program can have a tremendous impact on treating habitats on a much greater scale than just in our state game lands. I mentioned last year about the ringneck pheasant reintroduction efforts in the southwest part of the state. This year I'm pleased to tell you that we worked with Pheasants Forever in a trap and transfer effort in the Montour County area, and the reintroduction has been going well, and we are monitoring survival and population response. Just as a follow-up to last year, our integrated state game land planning model was implemented as we completed a pilot state game lands plan in each of the 6 regions. This program integrates the region's land manager, the region forester, and the region wildlife management supervisor in the planning process to develop a plan that is viable, practical, and adaptable to changing circumstances. Each plan is unique to the game land and allows for an adaptive management style that is best advantaged for the wildlife resources and our sportsmen and women. Shifting focus for a moment to our fiscal situation, by the end of June 2008, we anticipate a game fund balance of around $32 million on a cost accounting basis. To get to that level, in addition to the revenue increases, we took a very conservative approach to spending, particularly on the personnel side, where we maintained approximately 110 vacancies throughout the year. That included 32 vacant wildlife conservation officer districts and about 30 food and cover group vacancies. Our 27th WCO class graduated on March 8th, and they filled 21 of the 32 vacant WCO districts. We will still have 11 vacant districts, and another 6 districts will probably be vacant by the end of the fiscal year. By June 2010, we anticipate a return to over 30 wildlife conservation officer vacancies statewide. We are planning on having another WCO class in March of 2009, but that decision will only be driven by the availability of funds. Although we believe we manage our fiscal resources very responsibly, the expenses we cannot control continue to present a challenge. For example, we annually pay various state agencies such as the Department of General Services, Office of Administration Information Technology, and the Comptroller Office almost $1.7 million for support they provide. The new state labor contract that went into effect on July 1st, 2007 will increase our personnel costs by an additional $2 million this year, and at year 4, which is 2010, the annual increase in costs will be around $9.5 million. The total increase in personnel costs over the life of the 4-year contract is around $23 million. Although a balance of $32 million sounds like a lot, it does not cover the anticipated expenses for the next 3 years. As you well know, since we received no appropriation from the general fund, our revenues, as in the private sector, are based on earnings. We need approximately $22 million on hand in the game fund to open the door on July 1st, the first day of the fiscal year. If you take that $22 million from our anticipated fund balance of $32 million, then we only have $10 million to cover any additional expenses for the next 3 years. As you can see, the balance does not even cover the increased personnel costs, let alone the inflationary effect on day-to-day operations. As an example, when you approved our last license increase in 1998, gas was around $1 a gallon. Today it averages above $3, with most reports seeing it settling in around $3.50 to $4 a gallon by summer. I do not want to dwell on the license cost issue, but the most common observer can see something is wrong when hunters from our neighboring states of New Jersey and Ohio can hunt as a non-resident in Pennsylvania cheaper than they can hunt as a resident in their home state. In a recent report by the Southwick Associates for the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies, Pennsylvania continues to have the second most hunters in the nation, just behind Texas. However, Pennsylvania hunters led the nation by spending a total of 16.86 million days afield, exceeding second place Texas by 2.6 million days. Well, what does that mean to the economy of Pennsylvania? Using the multiplier effect, hunting alone is still more than a $3 billion industry and generates $214 million in state and local taxes. Currently, none of the $214 million is reinvested back to helping protect and ensure a secure future for the very wildlife and wildlife-related programs that generate these revenues. That needs to be fixed. And I've digressed from my prepared remarks for just a second, and I want to talk a little bit about House Bill 1214. As you know, that bill is a bill that reduces the terms of our commissioners from 8 years to 4 years with a renewal of 4 years. We want to reemphasize and reiterate our strong opposition to that bill. It is really problematic, and I'll give you a current example. In this current district that we're sitting in for commissioners, that commissioner left his term, or his term was over in I believe it was November of 2005. We're sitting here 2.5 years later and haven't filled that seat yet. And that was with a known loss. If in fact his 4-year terms came along and somebody would leave after 4 years or wouldn't be renewed in that position, the start time to replace that individual will be even longer. So there'll be a time where we wind up with a board that doesn't even have a quorum to be able to conduct business. So again, we still have strong concerns about House Bill 1214. Last year, meaning 2006-2007 hunting season, was very productive. We continued to enjoy large bear harvests, and turkey season were very successful for our hunters. It appears grouse hunters are enjoying the upcycle of grouse populations where early successional habitat is available. Small game, including rabbits, appear to be more plentiful than in recent past, again, where good habitat can support the population growth. Fur taker opportunities are plentiful for a variety of species, and we would really like more hunters to take part in fur taking, particularly on coyotes and foxes. However, even more importantly, we had the safest hunting season in our history, with only 46 hunting-related shooting incidents reported. This could be attributed to the great hunters we have in Pennsylvania, who clearly identify their target and know what is behind it. Just to follow up on that topic, we have included in your packet a copy of our Hunter-Trapper Education Manual, your updated manual. We believe the updated manual and the companion instructor notes are a major step forward in providing a better product to the public. Our program is in the second year of deployment, and we will finish deploying the updated program across the entire state next year. During a recent evaluation by the International Hunter Education Association, they stated our update materials were, if not the best, one of the best in the nation, and many other states are using our manual and instructor notes. Additionally, we are offering a distance education module of the program. An individual can study at home by the book or on the computer, and then come to a location for about a 2-hour time frame to take the test. We believe this will give those who do not want to be in a classroom an opportunity to complete hunter-trapper education. We are very excited about the distance education module and believe it can be expanded in the future. I would be remiss if I did not discuss deer management. Just for a moment, though. I attended a public officials luncheon at the farm show where Secretary Wolf mentioned that when the farm show opened in 1917, the two major topics were the advent of the gasoline-driven tractor and the damage that deer were causing orchards. 90 years later, deer remained the hot topic in many circles. In the 2006-2007 deer harvest was approximately 361,560. That included 135,290 buck and 226,270 antlerless deer. Deer hunting continues to be a challenge in some areas, but reports that our deer are larger and antler restrictions are working. In an effort to help understand the reason behind the current deer management policy, we have increased the emphasis on communicating our deer management program through a variety of means. We have included a copy of our deer management booklet in your packet, and I hope you take the time to read it, as we have provided thousands of copies to the public and will continue to do so. We conducted 7 open houses last fall on deer management and are offering 7 more this spring. We are increasing the communications on our deer program and will continue to do that. As we revise the deer management plan this year, we are considering 2 new management goals. The first is to manage the deer herd to provide recreational opportunities, and the second is to improve the public's knowledge and understanding about deer and the deer management program. An additional major program that we addressed last year was wind energy. The Game Commission participated in a collaborative process that resulted in the development of a voluntary wind energy cooperative agreement. Being responsible for wildlife impacts from wind energy, the Game Commission took the lead in establishing various protocols that will help wind energy companies to evaluate risk and avoid potential wildlife impacts. This program has already proven to be mutually beneficial to both the wind energy industry and our bird and mammal resources. However, to assist the execution of this program, we hired 4 biologists to provide monitoring of the program and assist the wind energy companies in site identification. This is an additional cost of almost $300,000, a cost we did not anticipate, but is necessary to support the program for clean energy. One of the most enjoyable programs we have recently offered is the Mentored Youth Hunt program. We have received numerous letters and emails from grandparents, parents, and young hunters themselves. They were all very appreciative of the opportunity to have this experience, which is a result of legislation that you all passed about a year and a half ago on Family as a Field. But I would like to suggest visiting our website and see some of the pictures that were sent to us. I will guarantee you will have a smile on your face after viewing those faces. We should all keep that youthful enthusiasm in mind as we enjoy the outdoors. It is more than just about a successful harvest. And I would like to relate a personal experience I had waterfowl hunting this year. As I knocked the goose out of the sky and it fell right beyond the decoys. We get ready to set the dog loose, and a bald eagle came sweeping out of the sky, went and grabbed that goose and started taking it off. The goose fought back a little bit, fell back to the water. Bald eagle came up again, turned over, made another hard pass at it, grabbed it, got it about 8 feet off the ground. The goose got away again. The dog got there and bought my goose back. Well, we killed several geese and ducks over those 2 days, but our wildlife story over that hunt was about that bald eagle trying to get away with my goose. There are many ways to enjoy the outdoors, and the Pennsylvania Game Commission is here to help you connect with wildlife. I am sure that many of you have your own special wildlife moments, and those in Pennsylvania are a large part due to the efforts of the men and women of the Game Commission. Our ability to provide those moments for the citizens of the Commonwealth is directly related to the resources available to execute the necessary programs. Thank you for the opportunity to address you today, and I'll be glad to answer any of your questions.